This is KLBK's Weather Aware Severe Weather Special, sponsored by Paint Doctor.
Welcome back into KLBK's Severe Weather Special. Prepare to be weather aware. Now that we understand the differences between a watch versus a warning, it's time to discuss how you and your loved ones can stay safe through the storms. When it comes to receiving severe weather alerts, you and your loved ones should have at least 3 ways to get updates through a storm. Charles Aldrich from the National Weather Service Lubbock office says one of the first lines of defense in storm preparations is having a NOAA weather radio.
It's that extra security. It's almost like a fire alarm in your house.
The weather radio is a nationwide network of stations broadcasting current weather information from the nearest National Weather Service office.
If you listen to it right now, it's going to be playing the forecast. It'll give you current observations. It'll give you the climate data for the previous day.
But when storms approach the South Plains,
and all of a sudden the warning's issued and you hear that famous tone go across the radio.
That tone signals an official watch or warning issued by the National Weather Service for your location.
When we issue a warning, it will interrupt the normal process and send out a 1050 hertz tone. And it'll let you know that there's a special alert, and you hit the button and it'll play that watch or warning.
Aldrich says those alerts could mean the difference between life and death.
We issue a tornado warning in, let's just say, 2 a.m. If you have your weather radio and it's in your bedroom and you have it set to go off, it will wake you up and let you know.
And most radios are set to work even if you lose power.
Usually you can have batteries in those as a backup and it'll be seamless as if nothing was happening. It'll just automatically switch to that battery backup. If a phone line goes out, that could be an issue. But usually we've never really had any reliability issues on weather radio.
Tuning your radio frequency for your location is an easy process. But if you need help, reach out to the National Weather Service office. There's also accommodations for the deaf and hard of hearing community.
A lot of times you just plug them in. You usually can just thumb through the channels to find the channel that comes in the clearest, and you can usually just set it as that.
You can get a discount on your NOAA weather radio today. Head to everythinglubbock.com and get it shipped to your door using the promo code KLBK. Another way to stay updated when severe weather strikes, download the KLBK First Warning Weather app. The app is free to download. Just go to your app store and in the search bar, type KLBK First Warning Weather and download. Once downloaded, make sure to enable your location access to ensure all warnings are sent for your exact location. Through the app, you will find the latest and most up-to-date forecast information, plus a detailed hour-by-hour outlook. And when storms do arrive on the South Plains, you can track storms with us through the live radar, and you can also view any specific watches or warnings in effect for your area. Through the app, you can even stay connected with the KLBK weather team through current forecast videos. You can also find direct links to our Facebook, Twitter, and web pages to keep up with continuous storm coverage. And if you're a smartphone user, signing up for wireless emergency alerts on your phone will send you potentially life-saving information from local government authorities. On an iPhone, open your settings, then tap notifications and scroll to government alerts at the bottom of your screen. You can then turn on emergency and public safety alerts. For Android users, in your settings, find apps and notifications, then tap notifications. Next, turn on Allow Alerts and make sure the proper alert types are enabled. When severe storms do pop up and you find yourself in a situation without those alert systems, tornado sirens sounded by local governments are used to alert anyone of incoming severe weather. Here in the Hub City, 45 tornado sirens were installed across the city this year and are in their final phases of testing before being fully operational. But local officials with the National Weather Service, Charles Aldrich, and the City of Lubbock Emergency Management Director, Joe Mowdy, say you shouldn't rely on sirens alone to keep you informed, but rather use them as a sign to immediately take shelter.
That's mainly for outdoor venues. You can hear them inside, especially if you're close by, but it's mainly for people to hear outside.
The most important thing is what happens after that alert is sent out or those warnings are sent out. We need the public to take shelter. We don't need them outside videoing the storms. We need them to have a plan ahead of time, and that's the most important part of this is for family members and individuals, businesses, to have a plan for what they're going to do if they get a tornado warning.
And now that you know the several ways to receive warnings, it's time to talk about what exactly to do when a warning is issued in your specific location and it's time to seek shelter. We're here in our safe place at the KLBK studio, and for you at home, what you'll first want to do is establish where that safe place is. Now, if you don't have a basement or a tornado or storm shelter, you'll want to find an interior room on the lowest floor of your home without any windows, so like a closet or a bathroom. But if your home cannot provide adequate shelter during a storm, make a plan to go to a nearby neighbor's house or to a local storm shelter. And in your safe space, you'll want to keep some emergency supplies on hand to get you through a few days after the storm passes. Here at the station, here's what we keep in our safe space. We have some clothes and some hard-soled shoes to really last you through a couple of days, as well as some emergency toiletry supplies. We also have a weather radio and a way to charge all of our devices, plus some extra batteries on hand as well. Now, after a storm, after a tornado, there could be potential debris everywhere, so having some protective gear like a mask and goggles is something that could be very beneficial. There's also potential that you could not have power after that storm passes, so having flashlights and lanterns and a way to see is very important. Now, you'll also want to make sure in that safe space that you keep some non-perishable food items as well as some bottled water, and not a bad idea to keep some plates, bowls, and even some silverware. But really, you'll want to put this entire bag together before a storm hits, because during a tornado, during an emergency, you don't have that time. Now that you know how to receive alerts of incoming severe weather and where to properly seek shelter,
it's time to see what this season has in store for the South Plains. So coming up after the break, we'll give you the official KLBK Spring Severe Weather Outlook.